Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to be going to an area that we haven't shown you much in the past before. If you've been following the channel, usually we're around Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, the Hollywood Hills and those vicinities. Today we're heading to the Valley, an area that's about 20-25 minutes depending on the traffic that you're going to be driving down, and to an area known as Encino. Encino is an area that's on the other side of the hills past West Hollywood, or the Hollywood Hills. And it's an area that's been coming up, and now you are starting to get homes that are absolutely stunning, similar kind of styles to what we usually shoot in Beverly Hills and Bel Air and the Hollywood Hills. And the advantage with living here in Encino is that you get much larger lots and you get more value for your money. So the property that we're going to take you to see today in Encino has just been put on the market for just under $15 million, and it's just over 12,000 feet. As I was saying earlier, the advantage of living out here in the Valley in Encino, Sherman Oaks is another area, Studio City for those who know Los Angeles, are all areas that run along the Ventura Boulevard. The advantage of living out here in the Valley is that you get much larger lots, you get an area that's happening, great restaurants, but at the same time it's quieter and more chilled out than the typical Beverly Hills and West Hollywood. And the area has fantastic restaurants and many famous people over the years have lived here. Among some of the celebrities that have decided to live out here in the Valley include LeBron James, Selena Gomez, and Megan Fox. So as we're driving now to the open house, I've just realized that we're low on charge, and I've recently purchased this electric car and I'm getting used to this whole charging situation. So we're going to stop off, get the car charged, and then also grab something to eat. So one of the things that you'll realize when you live here in Los Angeles is how big the food truck business is. So many people would rather eat food at these locations than actually brick and mortar locations, and a lot of times I have to admit the food is better, it's more authentic and far better value than going and sitting down somewhere where sometimes you can pay double the price for food that's not even as good. So we're about to try this place. Mexican food is huge and massive here in Los Angeles. Not so much in London, but definitely the last time I was in London, and I definitely did notice more and more places that are opening out there. So we're going to give it a try and see how it is. So I've got to tell you, the food is absolutely fantastic. I got the shrimps, and then they give you these sauces as well. If you like a bit of spice, definitely spice up your life. This is a classic example of, maybe I shouldn't say it on camera, but I will, of a really nice lot with a nice size house that doesn't have the right architect. The house is great, but it's got so many elements missing in it. So with this feeling of when you walk into one of these grand luxury homes and you feel like, wow, it just doesn't have that, even though it has so many of the elements that should make it feel like that. And that's the difference between picking an architect who knows what they're doing and an architect that you pick on the base of budget. Now, I know nothing about who designed this, but I'm just telling you from an architectural perspective, it's very flat, even though it has a lot of the right features.
So you didn't like that outdoor space at all, the backyard at least?
No, I did. The backyard was actually nice. It was nice. I wasn't a huge fan of whatever that space was at the back. What was it, like a pergola?
In the front?
At the back.
Oh, in the back. Oh,
Is that what you guys call it?
Pergola. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't a huge fan of that pergola at the back. It was kind of felt like it's
it didn't serve a purpose.
Right.
There was no bar there. There's no barbecue.
Exactly that. And exactly that. Yeah, sorry, go.
It was just a seating space, and there's plenty of that around the pool. So.
Yeah, it ended up being a seating space with a television there, and that's kind of actually, when you go to these homes and you start seeing things at the very end that don't make sense, it's usually because they've run out of money. And these ideas that they have about creating a space at the back of the pool that's going to have all these fancy, whatever it is, design, it gets taken out because the budget is over now, and these are the things that they save money on. So the money went on the interior and not the exterior. But I thought the pool area was nice. I thought it was connected quite well with the back of the house. I wasn't a huge fan of the front of the house, if I'm being totally honest with you. And yeah, having this basketball court at the front of the house wasn't the worst idea in the world, but I would have probably turned it around and tucked it to one corner and left the front open rather than having this huge, it's almost like going through a basketball court to get to your house, which is a little bit odd in my opinion. Again, all of these things are very subjective and everyone has their own ideas of what design is and what they like.
Give credit to where credit's due. Yeah. I do think it's very obvious that they did put a lot of time into it, and there's a lot of different types of materials. That wall paneling, the wooden slats, they thought about that, and there's a lot of different types of stones in the bathrooms and along the bars and all that. So I mean, there's a lot of manpower went behind it.
Yeah, that without a doubt, I do agree on the positive side, and that's what in a way breaks my heart, because I know the amount of time and efforts that's gone into it and how great the house could have been. So for me, it was, if I had to rate it, it was a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10, but it could have been an 8.5 or 9. But to your point, there was a lot of different materials. The wood paneling was really nice, and there was different style of wood paneling. The bathrooms were extremely well done. They were elegant stones that were picked. I love the ceiling heights. I would guess they're at least 15-16 feet high in almost the entire house, which is again very unusual. We haven't seen spaces that have such high ceilings within the entire space. You do see high ceilings within one or two parts, maybe the living room, and then the rest of the house comes down. But so if you don't take any other advice from me, take this one piece of advice from me. If you are designing a house and you're looking to do some development, especially on the high end, when you start getting above 7, 8, 10, 15 million dollars, pick yourself a good architect. I'll repeat again, pick yourself a good architect. And I know it's tough because the difference between a decent architect and a good architect can be substantially more. So for example, a decent architect for a home here in Los Angeles, around 8,000 square feet, will charge you around $100,000. That's probably minimum. And then a good architect, you're looking around $500,000. Now, I know you're going to say, what's the difference between a set of plans that's $100,000 and $500,000? And I will say to you, a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot. If you're looking to sell that house for $15-20 million, spend $500,000. Now, if you don't want to spend $500,000, that's fine. Don't spend $100,000. Spend something around $250,000, $300,000, and get yourself somebody that's experienced, that really has a vision to make that space come alive, because so that little bit of money that you thought you saved yourself at the very beginning is going to come back at the very end when that property is sitting on the market for 6 months without a single offer, and you're having to pay tens of thousands of dollars in repayment fees and construction loans, and that house is just sitting there month by month losing money for the sake of 100 or 150,000 that you try to save on the architect. And then added to that, get yourself a really, really good interior designer. Just as important, in my opinion, is an interior designer that's experienced, knows what they're doing, and can work with your ideas and bring the vision alive. Sometimes in these homes, the interior matters just as much, if not more, than the exterior space. So get started on that also very, very early on. So as we are driving back to the office now, this wraps up today's shoot. Another interesting mini adventure for you guys, and we ventured out of the area that we're typically in. So as we continue, I think we're probably going to start heading out maybe towards Malibu next time, and other areas that are not as well known. So as we're pulling up to the office, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the style of video that we're doing, which is different to what we typically do, and any other things that you guys would want us to film. We have other social media platforms, including Instagram. If you're not on there, jump on and please follow. It's Faiz1, ALFAIZ or ZA1, Faiz1. That's on Instagram, and we have just over 100,000 followers on there, and we get messages asking us to do other things, showing lifestyle here in Los Angeles, and other things that you guys may be interested in. I'm always up for an adventure, and we're always up for shooting different things. Me and my trusted buddy here, Kevin, that shoots and comes up with a lot of the ideas, and hopefully we'll bring you more content that you are interested in and would like to see. Until the next episode, see you all soon.